All right, let's talk about the second major content type you can use to drive subscription, to drive new leads, and that is events. And they're very, very different in terms of characteristics from the traditional lead magnet, which is typically, a lead magnet, as we talked about in the 10-point lead magnet audit. A lead magnet is designed to deliver value very, very quickly. So one of the most powerful things about a lead magnet is, things like cheat sheets, templates, swipe files. They deliver value instantaneously, whereas events are almost the exact opposite of a lead magnet, but they accomplish the same goal, which is to get the lead. So you're going to want to use events if you are marketing for an information business, software, and services. And that's not to say that you couldn't use events to sell physical products. You certainly could, and you get creative with that. But events are really, really powerful for these three different business models: software, info, services. All right, and you can see an example here of a webinar. All right, so you can do events online, you can do them offline. This is an online event, and the key here is that you're asking for a time commitment. So there's something very magical that happens. Remember, we've been talking about this all along, that one of the ways we show true commitment and true loyalty to something is by either voting with our time or our money. And when we get someone to come and spend time with us, a significant amount of time, typically an online webinar like this is going to be 60 minutes, 90 minutes, hours. It could be, online events that last hours. And the more time commitment that we get from somebody, the more of a dyed-in-the-wool lead they are, like the higher qualified lead they are. So somebody that just downloads a cheat sheet or a swipe file or a template tends to be a weaker lead, right? They're not as qualified, not as sales ready as somebody who comes and spends time with you, whether it's online or offline, at an event. All right, so we're also going to want to take time during the event. So we're going to use some of that time in the event to actually indoctrinate the audience. So we're going to talk more about this concept of indoctrination when we get into Module 5, but I wanted to bring it in here because events allow you the space and time to indoctrinate the audience. So what do we mean by indoctrination? I mean, tell them who you are, tell them your story, tell them about your brand, let them understand, and by them I mean your prospects and customers, help them to understand who you are and what your story is. I put this up here because this is, indoctrination is a sort of amorphous thing to talk about, but this shows you a set of slides that I use in a webinar that I do. So it's an online event. And this is the first 15 slides of that online event. And you can see that the presentation is called Copy This 4-Step Framework the pros use to generate millions of dollars in information product sales. And you can see that in the first 15 slides, you can see pictures of my wife and son and daughter. You see pictures of my dog. You see, I use a little humor throughout here. I won't bore you with that humor, but there is some humor that is used in the first 15 slides of this presentation. I talk about, you can see in slide 8 there, I talk about how I'm obsessed with helping passionate people make a great living, selling information products. It's the sole reason for the existence of Modern Publisher, my company. And so, I talk about the different people that are involved in my company at Modern Publisher. And so what I'm doing is I'm telling my story. I'm indoctrinating people to my story, to my brand, and I'm taking some time to do that. And I really advise you to do that. Now, you are going to get some people that will complain and say, hey, stop talking about yourself. This is not about you, right? But this is a very intentional thing that we do at events, which is to tell our story, right? Because the people that are paying attention will like us more and know us more. All right, and this is not designed to be manipulative. This is designed to actually get people to know you and to understand you and where you're coming from. All right, so use indoctrination at those events. In the next video, we're going to talk about in-person events at the subscription stage.